The desperate human captain clung to life. His blood smeared across the bridge controls as alien investigators looked on in stunned disbelief at a ship that should not have survived. Debris and scorch marks marred the exterior of the derelict vessel, a testament to the abuse it had endured, drifting between stars. Wadi xenoarchaeologist Yaksa maneuvered his shuttle alongside the wreckage, taken aback by the sheer resilience of its construction. He rotated to face his research partner Zoltar. Look at the reinforced blast plating, the redundant life support systems. It's like they built this ship expecting to fly through supernovas. Zoltar scoffed. Paranoia and overkill. No species needs this level of protection. A proximity alert chimed as they synced orbits with the battered hulk. Yaksa angled the shuttle to dock at a still intact airlock. Magnetic clamps engaged with a resounding clang. I'm going to have a look inside. Keep the engines warm. Within the dim, debris-strewn corridors, an eerie stillness prevailed, broken only by the hiss of recycled air and faint creaks of stressed metal. Yaksa picked his way towards the bow, sweeping his torch over buckled bulkheads and scuffed deck plating. He froze at a weak groan from the bridge. Slumped before a cracked view screen and ripped-open consoles was a single human, his silver-green uniform dark with dried blood. The man lifted his head, eyes fluttering with shallow breaths. "Captain George Powell, UES Defiance," he rasped. "Took you long enough to find us." Yaksa rushed over, first aid kit in hand. "I'm Yaksa, a Wadi scientist. Try not to move. You've lost a lot of blood." Powell shook his head, unfocused eyes pleading. "My crew, still in stasis pods. You must get them out." As Yaksa started patching the worst bleeding, he radioed Zoltar. "Get over here now and find those stasis bays. We've got survivors to evacuate before this wreck comes apart." He looked back at Powell, wondering what nightmares had befallen this ship, amazed any human still drew breath within the battered walls. The captain was fading in and out of consciousness, but Yaksa squeezed his shoulder. "Stay with me. You're going to live, understand? We'll get your people home, I promise." As Yaksa administered first aid, he quizzed the captain, "What kind of mission brought you out here? How did this ship get so wrecked?" Powell groaned as a bandage tightened. "Deep space exploration. We were mapping new star systems when our sensors picked up a strange anomaly. Some kind of distortion in space-time. We approached to investigate, and it sucked us in, spat us out in uncharted territory." "Uncharted territory? What happened next?" Zoltar asked. "They came out of nowhere. Massive organic ships like living creatures, ripped right through our shields with weapons we'd never seen. We gave as good as we got, but we were outgunned." Powell's voice caught. "We lost people. Good officers." "But you survived. How?" Yaksa marveled. Powell met his gaze. "Adapted. After each skirmish, we analyzed their tactics, upgraded systems, modified our approach, even captured one of their ships to reverse engineer tech. But mostly, my crew. They never quit, kept fighting no matter how bad it got." Zoltar frowned. "Then why are they in stasis?" The captain sighed. "Last attack crippled us. Life support failed. I had to order them into the pods to save them. Stayed at the helm myself, trying to limp us to safety. Then you showed up." Yaksa clasped the human's shoulder. "Your crew's courage, your leadership, it's extraordinary. We'll help you get them home safe. I swear it." As Zoltar located the stasis bay, he shook his head. "I underestimated humans. Imagine what else they might be capable of." With Powell's guidance, Yaksa and Zoltar navigated the debris-strewn corridors of the Defiance, making their way to the lower deck. The fabrication lab was in worse shape than they'd anticipated, consoles smashed and machinery toppled. Zoltar shook his head as he surveyed the destruction. "Yaksa, I don't see how we can salvage anything from this mess. The damage is too extensive." Yaksa held up a hand, not ready to concede defeat. He knelt beside a collapsed shelving unit, clearing away twisted metal. "Captain Powell said this lab could manufacture replacement parts from raw materials. There has to be something here we can use." "And what if there isn't?" Zoltar argued. We're wasting time that could be spent finding another solution. Another solution. Yaksa stood, dusting off his hands. Like what, abandoning ship and leaving the crew to die? No, we owe it to them to exhaust every possibility. He resumed his search, digging through the rubble with renewed determination. Zoltar sighed but joined in the effort. Minutes ticked by as they sifted through the debris, hope dwindling with each fruitless handful of scrap. Just as despair threatened to set in, Yaksa's fingers brushed against something smooth and unyielding. He brushed aside a tangle of wires to reveal a concealed hatch set into the deck plating. "Zoltar, over here, help me with this." Together, they pried open the hatch to discover a compact storage compartment. Inside sat an unassuming metal case, its surface free of scratches or dents. Yaksa hauled it out reverently. "I think this might be what we're looking for." The case unlatched with a hiss, revealing an array of pristine tools, spare parts and components, all neatly organized. A small hollow projector flared to life, displaying schematics and an interactive AI assistant. Zoltar peered over Yaksa's shoulder, amazement replacing skepticism. A complete repair kit hidden away for emergencies, and it's compatible with the fabrication lab. Yaksa nodded slowly, a smile tugging at his lips. The humans thought of everything. They planned for the worst-case scenario. "Their foresight is remarkable," Zoltar admitted. "Perhaps we've underestimated their capabilities." As they carried the kit back to the fabrication lab, the AI assistant already highlighting damaged components on the schematics, Yaksa felt a flicker of hope rekindling in his chest. "With this, we have a real chance of getting the life support systems operational again. We might just pull off this rescue after all." Zoltar placed a hand on Yaksa's shoulder. "Thanks to human ingenuity and preparedness, I'm starting to understand why they've earned such a formidable reputation." The two set to work, the AI guiding their repairs as they raced against time to save the Defiance and her valiant crew. Though the task ahead remained daunting, Yaksa and Zoltar now labored with renewed purpose, knowing that the humans' resourcefulness had given them a fighting chance. With the fabrication lab operational and life support back online, Yaksa and Zoltar turned their attention to the Defiance's crew. One by one, the stasis pods hissed open, spilling wisps of condensation as the humans within stirred to wakefulness. A dark-haired woman stumbled from the first pod, legs unsteady. Yaksa caught her arm, supporting her weight. "Easy there. You've been in stasis a long time." She blinked up at him, eyes slowly focusing. Where am I?" "I'm Yaksa, a Wadi scientist. Your ship was badly damaged. We're here to help." "Lieutenant Olivia Chen." She straightened, hand finding the bulkhead for balance. "The captain, is he—" "Alive," Zoltar assured, assisting a gangly red-headed man from another pod. "Injured but stable. He stayed at the helm to save you." Chen absorbed this, gaze roaming the scorched and dented corridor. "How bad is the ship?" "We're still assessing the damage," Yaksa admitted. "But we got comms and life support functional again. Captain Powell told us some of what happened." More crew emerged, leaning on each other, voices rising in a grateful, incredulous babble. A stout man with lieutenant's bars clapped Zoltar's shoulder, grinning. "Never thought I'd be so happy to see unfamiliar faces. Thought we were done for." "Your captain's quick thinking saved you," Zoltar noted. Chen huffed a tired laugh. "That's George, too stubborn to quit." Her smile faded. "We lost people, didn't we?" Yaksa nodded solemnly. "Yes, the captain said you were ambushed by unknown ships." "Those things were monsters," the redhead muttered. "Tore through our hull like paper. Shredded our engines, too," the stout lieutenant added grimly. "But the skipper pulled us through, kept improvising, adapting, wouldn't let us give up." Zoltar shook his head, amazed. "Most species would have surrendered in the face of such overwhelming force. You had no chance." "Humans don't believe in no-win scenarios," Chen said firmly. "Never have, probably never will." Yaksa studied the battered but defiant crew, intrigued. You say that like you've stared down extinction before. Chen met his gaze steadily. We have more than once. But how? Zoltar pressed. Your species is so young compared to the galactic community. It's not about age, it's about will. Chen leaned back against the bulkhead. Humans have a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and we've had more than a few close calls. The crew murmured agreement, a few chuckles rising. Yaksa sensed an old pain there, leavened by hard-won wisdom. Tell us, he urged, how did you survive? Chen glanced at her crewmates, then back to the alien scientists. It's a long story, she warned, older than our ship, older than our world. But if you really want to know what drives us, what makes us fight on when others would surrender, then listen close. I'll tell you what it truly means to be human. As the Defiance's crew settled in, their focus turned to plotting a course back to Earth. Lieutenant Chen pored over star charts with Captain Powell, discussing potential routes and strategies. The mood on the bridge was one of cautious optimism. They had survived against all odds, and now home felt within reach. Yaksa watched the humans work, a newfound respect for their tenacity growing with each passing moment. He turned to Zoltar, about to voice his thoughts, when a chime from the communications console interrupted him. Incoming transmission from Wadi Prime, Zoltar said, his brow furrowing. Marked urgent, we should take this in private. The two scientists stepped into a small adjoining room, sealing the door behind them. Zoltar activated the view screen, revealing the stern visage of a high-ranking Wadi official. Xenoarchaeologists Yaksa and Zoltar, the official began without preamble, your report on the human vessel has been received. The technology and knowledge they possess is of great interest to the Wadi collective. Yaksa felt unease prickle along his spine as the official continued. You are hereby ordered to seize control of the human ship and bring its crew to Wadi Prime for study. Their technological secrets will be extracted, one way or another. But, sir, Yaksa protested, the humans have done nothing to warrant such treatment. They trusted us to aid them, not betray them. The official's expression hardened. Your personal feelings are irrelevant. Comply with your orders or face the consequences. Refusal will brand you as traitors, and your families will bear the cost of your disobedience. With that, the transmission cut out, leaving Yaksa and Zoltar in stunned silence. Yaksa saw his own shock and conflict mirrored in his partner's eyes. Zoltar, we can't, Yaksa began, but the words stuck in his throat. How could they choose between their duty and their conscience? Before either could speak further, the door hissed open, revealing Captain Powell. His expression was grim, his posture tense. I couldn't help overhearing, Powell said evenly. I understand the position you're in, but I can't allow you to seize this ship or my crew. Zoltar's hand twitched towards his sidearm. Captain, we have our orders. Powell cut him off with a sharp gesture. There's always a choice. If you do this, you won't just be betraying us, you'll be starting a war, one your people can't win. Yaksa looked from Zoltar to Powell, indecision warring within him. But as he met the captain's unwavering gaze, he knew what he had to do. Zoltar, the humans have shown us what it means to stand for what's right, even against impossible odds. If we turn on them now, we're no better than the enemies they've fought to survive. Zoltar wavered, fear and doubt playing across his features. What about our families, Yaksa, our people? Powell stepped forward, his voice softening. Come with us. Help us get home, and I give you my word we'll do everything in our power to keep you and your loved ones safe. You've seen what we can do. We keep our promises. In that moment, Yaksa made his choice. He clasped Powell's outstretched hand, sealing their bond. We're with you, Captain. It may take time for our people to understand, but we'll stand together until they do, as friends and allies. As the Defiant set her course for Earth, engines humming with new purpose, Yaksa felt the weight of the future settle on his shoulders. The path ahead was uncertain, but one truth shone bright. He had witnessed the indomitable human spirit, and he would fight to his last breath to protect it. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, Please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.